Hey y'all, so I gotta share this story from the other day because man, it was a classic I don't work here moment, but with some extra spice. I'm Aisha, by the way, 28, just living my life. Anyway, I was at Rixall, not my usual spot, but my father-in-law was craving a very specific kind of 7-Up, and apparently this was the only place that had it. So I'm there looking kinda out of place, probably because I was wearing my comfiest jeans and my gray hoodie. Problem is, this hoodie has a small company logo on the back, totally not Rixall, by the way, just a logo. I'm deep in the soda aisle, scanning shelves like a hawk when I hear it. Snap, snap, followed by a little impatient throat clear. I ignored it, figured someone was just being annoying somewhere else. Snap, 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 louder this time, closer. And then this voice, sharp and nails on a chalkboard, barks, "Hey, you, front and center, get over here and do your job." Okay, now I turn, and there she is. Looked like she'd stepped right out of a retirement home's power walking class, full bright pink tracksuit, bad perm, and a scowl that could curdle milk. She was maybe in her early 60s, radiating pure, "I want to speak to the manager" energy. I just kinda stared for a second, like seriously, then trying to keep my voice calm, I just said, "Oh, sorry, but I don't actually work here." Her eyes narrowed. "Don't you sass me, you're wearing the uniform, aren't you? Now I need you to show me." Before she could finish her demand, the actual cashier, this sweet woman named Sarah, I saw her name tag later, came walking up the aisle, probably drawn by the commotion. "Everything okay, ladies?" she asked, sounding a little hesitant. The pink tracksuit terror immediately wheels on Sarah, pointing at me. "This young woman here is refusing to help me, and she's being very rude." Sarah glanced at me, then at my hoodie. She seemed to get it instantly. "Bless her. Ma'am," Sarah said gently, that's not our uniform. She doesn't work for Rixall." Pink tracksuit sputtered, "Well, she shouldn't be wearing that then, it's misleading." She shot me another glare, this one laced with disgust, like I'd personally offended her by existing in that hoodie. Then, with a dramatic huff, she stomped off towards the front registers. I just let out a breath I didn't realize I was holding, grabbed my 7-Up, shaking my head, and followed her to the checkout, ending up right behind her in line. Standing there, I couldn't help but notice, yeah, I was pretty much the only black person in the place. This town is, well, it's not exactly diverse. You get used to standing out, but sometimes people just assume things. Makes you feel visible in a way you don't always want to be. It reminded me of that one time some older guy actually whistled at me in a different store, like I was a dog. I shut that down real fast, use your words, pal, but you carry those little moments. The pink tracksuit woman was still fuming in front of me. She kept glancing back, her scowl deepening. It was almost comical, honestly, like she couldn't stand that I hadn't crumpled under her demand and that the actual employee had backed me up. When she finally finished paying, she practically snatched her bags and power walked out of there without a word. My turn, Sarah, the cashier, gave me a sympathetic look. "Sorry about that," she mumbled. "No worries," I said, giving her a smile. "Comes with the territory sometimes, I guess." We had a quick, normal chat while she scanned my soda, just about the crazy weather we'd been having. It was such a relief after that weird tension. I paid, thanked Sarah, and walked out. Felt pretty good, actually. Didn't let her get to me, got what I needed, and had a nice moment with the cashier. Sometimes you just gotta navigate the weirdness and keep it moving.
All right, folks, Casper here, and man, do I have a story for you from my recent trip to the Netherlands. My girlfriend Anya and I were visiting her cousin Lena, who just started uni there. We were all buzzing. Catching up after ages, soaking in the vibes of this cool university town. We were chilling on a bench near Lena's dorm, just yapping away in English, mostly for my benefit, bless M. Suddenly, this woman strides up. You couldn't miss her. Expensive-looking trench coat, designer sunglasses perched on a hairdo that defied gravity, and a general air of the world revolves around me. She had 2 massive suitcases, which she just dropped with a clatter right by the entrance to the dorm building, not 10 feet from us. No looking around, no excuse me, just thump. I'm a bit of a worrier about unattended luggage, so I piped up, friendly like, excuse me, ma'am, you might not want to leave those there. It's a busy spot." She gave me this icy once-over, didn't say a word, and just swept into the building, like I was the weird one. Anya just raised an eyebrow at me and Lena stifled a giggle. Welcome to dealing with some types, she muttered. A few minutes later, this flustered-looking student pokes his head out of the dorm. Hey, do any of you know whose suitcases these are? He asked, gesturing at the abandoned luggage. We've had issues with a particular lady leaving things and then causing a scene. He looked pointedly at the bags. If they belong to her, protocol is to bring them into the reception for safekeeping. The lady with the impressive hair and sunglasses, I asked. That's the one, he said, a note of weary recognition in his voice. Right, I'm taking these in. And off he went, dragging the suitcases inside. Not 5 minutes later, our VIP returns, sunglasses still on, scanning the area like a hawk. Her eyes lock onto the empty spot where her luggage was. Then they swivel to us. Oh boy. Where are my suitcases? She demanded, her voice tight. I kept it cool. I believe a student from the university took them inside for safekeeping. I gestured vaguely towards the door. Her face, already stern, somehow managed to contort even further. You were watching them, you let him take them. What did you do with them? She was jabbing a finger at me now. Ma'am, I said, trying to keep the disbelief out of my voice, I don't work here. I just told you what I saw. Anya, bless her, tried to mediate. He's right, we just saw a student take them in. He said it was for safety. This seemed to enrage her further. Don't lie to me, you're all in on it, you probably stole them yourselves. She was getting louder, attracting a few curious glances from passers-by. At this point, the sheer audacity of it all just hit me and a chuckle escaped. Anya, seeing my face, started to giggle too. Lena was trying very hard to look serious, but her shoulders were shaking. This, apparently, was the ultimate insult. What's so funny? She shrieked. I demand to know your name. I'm going to report you to your manager immediately. My manager of sitting on this bench? I asked, genuinely curious now. Lady, I'm a tourist. We don't work here. We don't know anything beyond what we told you. She huffed, clearly not believing a word. Unbelievable, the incompetence. With a final glare that could curdle milk, she stormed towards the dorm entrance. We figured that was the end of it. Well, that was an experience, I said, shaking my head. Lena suggested we grab some groceries for dinner from the nearby supermarket to de-stress. Good idea. So, we're in the Albert Heijn browsing the stroopwafels because, Netherlands, when I get that prickly feeling on the back of my neck. I glance over my shoulder and who do I see, practically breathing down our necks, still wearing those sunglasses indoors? Yep, our friend. She marched right up to us, bypassing any attempt at subtlety. I knew it, she declared, loud enough for half the aisle to hear. You did steal my luggage, I demand you call your manager. Now, she was actually pointing at Anya this time, who was holding a packet of cheese. Ma'am, Anya said, her voice dangerously calm, we are shopping. We don't work here. Your luggage, as we told you, is likely at the university reception. Please leave us alone. This woman was relentless. She started following us, aisle by aisle, muttering about thieves and terrible customer service, occasionally grabbing items off shelves and then stuffing them, not into a basket, but into her oversized designer handbag. We were trying our best to ignore her, but it was getting properly uncomfortable. We made a beeline for the checkout, hoping to just pay and escape. As she was ranting near the exit, clearly intending to leave without paying for the hoard in her bag, the security alarms blared to life. Beep, beep, beep. Suddenly, 2 rather large security guards materialized and were on her in a flash. Excuse me, madam, can we see your receipt and perhaps what's in your bag? Her face was a picture, outrage, shock, and then a sort of dawning horror. The game was up. We paid for our groceries, a massive wave of relief washing over us as they escorted her, still protesting loudly, to a back office. As we were walking out, a young woman, probably early 20s, rushed up to us. She looked mortified. Excuse me, she said, her voice trembling a bit. I am so incredibly sorry. That was my mother. We just stared. Your mother? Lena asked, dumbfounded. Yes, she sighed, looking utterly exhausted. She does this. She has issues. She creates these elaborate scenarios. She's probably already planning how to sue the store for emotional distress or something. She was supposed to be meeting me here. I'm Lena's cousin's roommate. Small world, huh? Thank you for trying to be reasonable with her. Most people don't. We chatted for a bit, sharing our side of the Karen encounter. The daughter, let's call her San, was just so apologetic and clearly used to cleaning up her mother's messes. So yeah, that was our dose of Dutch drama. Turns out, Karens are an international phenomenon. And seriously, watch your luggage, but maybe more importantly, sometimes just walking away is the best you can do. What a day.
If you're still watching, you're clearly into this stuff. Go ahead and subscribe. I've got more stories just like these. Now, on to the last one.
Alright folks, Kai here, and you know I wouldn't be back unless I had a good one for ya. This particular adventure in retail weirdness still makes me chuckle. So picture this, it's a Tuesday I think, and I'm on a mission. The iPhone 5S, yeah I know, ancient tech now, but back then it was the hotness, was supposedly on a killer sale at Target. 99 bucks, I mean come on. I practically vibrated with bargain hunter energy as I walked into the store. Sure enough, there it was, gleaming under the fluorescent lights. I snatched one up, feeling pretty pleased with myself, and headed for the checkout, already imagining all the, well, iPhone things I'd do. I'm standing in line, minding my own business, probably mentally calculating how much I saved, when I feel a tap on my shoulder. I turn around and there's this woman, let's call her Brenda, probably in her late 40s, with that, I need to speak to your manager haircut already setting off mild alarm bells. Excuse me, she started, her voice a little tight, I've been waiting for assistance in electronics for 10 minutes. Can you unlock the case for the tablets? I blinked. I was wearing a band t-shirt, definitely not red, and jeans, holding a clearly not an employee scanner iPhone box. Oh, sorry, I don't work here, I said, offering a polite, slightly confused smile. Brenda's eyes narrowed. Yes, you do, she stated, not asked. I saw you fiddling with the phones over there. Yeah, I said, holding up my prize, I was buying this one. See, customer. This apparently was the wrong answer. Don't lie to me, she snapped, her voice jumping a few decibels. Heads were starting to turn. You're wearing the uniform. I glanced down at my faded Metallica tee. This is definitely not a Target uniform. I think they wear red, right? I even pointed to a real employee walking by in their cherry red shirt and khakis. Brenda was having none of it. It was like my denial just fueled her conviction. He's being unhelpful and rude, she announced to the growing audience of mildly interested shoppers. I want to see your manager now. Internally, I was already sighing. Here we go. Ma'am, I really don't work here. I can't get you a manager because I don't have one here. Just then, a guy in a slightly different shade of red shirt, looking a bit more authoritative, noticed the commotion. This was Dave, the actual floor manager, bless his retail-weary soul. He ambled over, a practiced, patient look on his face. Is there a problem here? Brenda pounced. Yes, this employee, she jabbed a finger dangerously close to my nose, is refusing to help me, lied about working here, and is being incredibly disrespectful. I saw him sneaking a phone for himself. My jaw just about hit the linoleum. I'm literally in line to pay for it. I waved the iPhone box again, feeling a bit like a game show host presenting a prize. Dave, the manager, looked from Brenda's furious face to my bewildered one, then at my Metallica shirt. He gave a slow, deliberate nod. Ma'am, I understand your frustration. Could you describe what happened? Brenda launched into a dramatic retelling, painting me as some sort of rogue employee trying to hoard electronics, possibly for a black market resale ring. I just stood there trying to project an aura of bemused, sane person. When she finally wound down, sputtering about how I should be fired immediately, Dave turned to me. He had this perfectly neutral expression. Sir, do you have anything to say about these accusations? Only that I'm a customer, I said, trying to buy this phone, and this t-shirt is older than the iPhone model I'm holding. Brenda scoffed. He's a terrible liar, fire him. Dave looked at her, then back at me. He paused, a tiny smirk playing on his lips so quick I almost missed it. Then, with a completely deadpan expression, he said to me, Well, son, based on this egregious behavior and your clear attempt to defraud both this customer and the company, I'm afraid we're going to have to let you go from your job at Target. Silence, Brenda puffed up, triumphant. I stared at Dave and then I couldn't help it. A snort escaped me, then another, and suddenly I was laughing, not hysterically, but that deep, wheezing laugh you get when something is just too absurd for words. Brenda's face went from smug to furious red. What's so funny? This is serious. Dave, still deadpan, just shrugged at her. He's probably just relieved to be free from the shackles of retail. That was it for Brenda. She shrieked something incoherent, spun on her heel with surprising agility and stormed out of the store, muttering about incompetent management and never shopping here again. Once she was gone, Dave let out a long breath and grinned at me. Sorry about that, man, some days you know. She was already wound up about something else when she came in. He gestured to my phone. Tell you what, for your trouble and for being such a good sport, let me get you 15% off that phone and any accessories you grab. I was still chuckling. You, sir, are a legend. Deal. So I walked out of Target with a discounted iPhone, a story to tell, and a renewed appreciation for store managers who know how to handle a wild Karen with a bit of style. Sometimes, life really is stranger and funnier than fiction.
This one pairs perfectly with what you just watched.